Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and a good Chodesh. Very happy time for Klal Yisrael as we enter into the 2 months of Adar. So it's a joyous time. I remember we asked Ramesha. It was by a lunchtime, and I asked Ramesha, how are we Mekayim Mishenichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha? So, first he says, we could drink a little wine. Then he said, Avada Tzalernen Mer. And Simcha K'Simchas HaTorah. So, I came up to the Beis Medrash, and I repeated it over, and then I posed the question, how do you think the Rebbe could learn more? I told him there's only one way imaginable, and that means that he gets up a little earlier, because he's always learning. Ramesha was always learning. There's just nothing to talk about. He was always learning, when he was wrapping up his tefillin, when he was waiting by the car, when he was always learning. I remember, I see this before my eyes. He had phlebitis, and I was in the bungalow, and during the day, he didn't always have negel vasa by the bed. So he had gotten up, and I helped him on with his hoizbekisha, and he went to the sink holding a Tanakh, and he put on the water, and while the water was running, he was turning the pages of the Tanakh. And he wasn't fully awake yet. And he washed his hands, and as soon as he finished washing his hands, he was immersed into the Tanakh. That's the way the Rishiva. So, you can't learn more when you're living like that. But it's just, he probably got up a few minutes earlier. Anyway, we are delightfully in the 11th parak of Masechtas Kesuvos, and we are holding by Mishna Beis and Mishna Gimel, dedicated by the Fish family, Lila Nishmas Basi Bas Robert, Shlomo ben Avram Alevi, Pel Bas Ruvain, also Lila Nishmas, Matzio Chaim ben Yaakov, Lefu Shalem Film Yomis Mechai Sarah, for the Chutz of Avram Yam ben Ish B'Malk Yudus and family, 4 by Yo Klugman for Gesund Parnas and Nachas, and Lefu Shalem for Meir ben Chai Sarah. Almana, a widow, Bein Min Ha'erisin, Bein Min Ha'nesuin, whether she's from a Erisin where she's only entitled to a Kesuva, she's not entitled to support because she was never married, Bein Min Ha'nesuin, or if it's from marriage where she's also entitled to support, Moicheres Shaloi Bebezdin, she could sell to recover her support, not in Bezdin, because the husband would not want her to be nizbaze, shamed by going to Bezdin. The Rav says she has to sell it b'fnei shloisha sheyiu b'kiyim b'shumas karka, to make sure that the estate is not shortchanged, but doesn't have to be in front of Bezdin. Reb Shimon says mina nisuin, if she's married and she's selling for support, she could sell outside of Bezdin. Mina Erisin, where it's for the Kesuva, you can't sell the Kesuva without Bezdin, because they only allowed this selling not in Bezdin when it came to eating, because you can't keep her hungry. But for the Kesuva, there, if it's by Erisin, where it always is only the Kesuva, or if it's from the Suin and she decided that she wants to move out of the house and collect her Kesuva, lo yisimker element, excuse me, Reb Shimon min Suin by Kavish Shalei Bebezdin, Mibnei Erisin from betrothal where it's for the Kesuva lo yisimker element Bebezdin, Mibnei she'ein la mezainis, because when she's from Erisin she's not entitled for mezainis. V'kol she'ein la mezainis, and if it's not from mezainis lo yisimker element Bebezdin, you could only sell according to Reb Shimon in Bezdin. Machra ksuvasa miksasa, if she sold her ksuva or part of it, Mishkana ksuvasa miksasa, she gave us collateral her ksuva or part of it. Nasna ksuvasa la'acha, she awarded the ksuva to someone else, miksasa. Once she started collecting the ksuva, she cannot have mezainis anymore, and therefore, since it's for the rest of the ksuva, loisimker es hashar, you can't sell the rest, ela bebezdin. That's consistent with Reb Shimon's opinion in the previous Mishnah, that any selling not done for mezainis has to be bebezdin. The Chacham argues on Reb Shimon in two parts. First of all, the Chacham hold that you could sell even the ksuva outside of Bezdin, because the husband doesn't want his wife to be embarrassed to go to Bezdin. Therefore, she could sell piecemeal, even 4 or 5 times the ksuva outside of Bezdin. And the Chacham also argue, and they say that even though she stole part of her ksuva, she's still entitled to the mezainis, and therefore she could sell it outside of Bezdin. But when she sells for mezainis, she writes, "I'm selling for mezainis." When she sells for a piece of the ksuva, she says she's writing for the ksuva. The Kesuvos, she writes l'mezainis macharti or l'ksuva macharti. The Mefarshim say this is an order that people shouldn't think that she eats so much and she's so gluttonous, and then other people won't want to marry her. Ugrusha, if she's a divorcee, there we don't have the anan sadeh that the husband doesn't want her to be mizbaza bebezdin, because since the husband divorced her, he doesn't care, and therefore ugrusha, a divorcee, lo simker ela bebezdin, she could only sell in front of the bezdin. Tonight, after the daf, I will do the segment called for the Shabbos table, which everybody is welcome to enjoy. Also, we remind you in Mariv to not forget to say Yalav Yavai. It's a joyous time. It should be a joyous month and a good month. Yossi, we wish you a refuah shalema, and we shall only hear good news. Reb Chananya ben Akasha Amaratz